All right, what's up, everyone? Closing bell here in about 5 seconds. Okay, there's the closing bell. Welcome, everybody, to the stream. Swinging Bull here with PB Alerts. See quite some people over here in the Discord. What's up, Porter? How you doing? T-Cat, good to see you. This is an earnings stream. Two stocks that we're going to be looking at here. We're going to watch the price reaction to the earnings data on ChargePoint, ticker symbol CHPT, and then the big one, LULU, LULU is the ticker symbol. LULU kind of rallied in the close today, but was basically retracing the morning sell-off it had, but retraced it very nicely, kind of back to baseline here. Let's just take a look at some time. So LULU reports at 4:05 p.m. Eastern, and ChargePoint reports at 4:10 p.m. Eastern. So we'll get LULU first, and then ChargePoint, and then we'll go from there. So let me go back to the candlesticks. Overall, LULU closed up 0.5%. ChargePoint was up a little over 2% today. So we'll see what happens. Again, we're going to see the reaction to LULU first. They report at 4:05 Eastern. So as soon as we get their reaction and some earnings data, I'll get that posted for everybody. Let me just log in on my other screen. So as soon as we get the data, I can post it for everybody. Give me 1 sec here. Okay, so 4:01 p.m. right now. We got a couple more minutes before the data on LULU comes out. Just kind of to let everyone know, LULU is actually down 40% for the year. So they have not been having a good year in 2024. Looking at the daily chart right here. Let me pull up the weekly, actually. Yeah, so here's a better picture zoomed out here. They kind of topped out towards the end of December. And then right when 2024 hit in January, it just hasn't been good for them, especially the month of March was very bad for them. So you can look at it, a couple different ways, but obviously lots of levels to the upside. So we'll see what happens when they actually release the earnings data. Let me zoom back into intraday here. It's a 15-minute chart. Get a little bit of some bullishness here. Probably some anticipatory volatility of the earnings. On the 5-minute chart now. We do got a couple minutes, so let me just go back here to LULU. So consensus EPS is $2.38. Forecast revenue $2.2 billion. So we'll see what they end up at. Someone on Twitter asked, what time is LULU? It's I'm showing 4:05 p.m. Eastern. So just a couple more minutes here, and we should get the data and of course the price reaction. Let's go here, tip ranks. Let's just take a look at a couple of things. Yeah, they got a pretty good smart score of 10, even though they've been selling off all year. Again, they're down 40% year to date, so they've been taking quite a hit this year. Let me see here. Revenue breakdown, 63% women's product, 23% men, 12% other. Average price target 434. High price target 550, low is 240. So let me just go to earnings. Let me check the candlesticks one last time. Okay, it's still kind of just sitting here. I'm going to move to the 3-minute chart on LULU. Zoom in a little bit. So we got about another 2 minutes, folks. Okay, well, actually, yeah, another 2 minutes. Let me just take a quick peek at some of their other stats here. Okay, yeah, LULU always does a great job beating EPS. Not even one red blip in the past 10 earnings. So not too concerned about their EPS numbers based on this. As far as what the price of LULU was one day after previous earnings announcements, most recent one, they were down 15%. So what I'm hoping happened there is they guided lower, and which will make the expectations not as hard to beat. Right? If they guided lower, future expectations should be easier to beat if that's what happened. So maybe we get a bounce back on today's earnings. Got about another minute left, and we should start getting some, the fireworks will start here on LULU. We'll go to 1-minute chart. Okay, just refreshing my screen on the side here. Okay, here we go. All right, huge. Did you guys see that? If you're looking at my screen, Lulu just blasted. Now let's let's wait a second and make sure this isn't some fake out move, but it's up almost $30 an hour, $30 a share in after hours. So again, let's just give it a second. I don't want to congratulate the bulls too soon because we see it more times. We see it a lot where sometimes the first reaction isn't the real one, but this does look pretty strong here, folks. Huge buy side imbalance on the order book. Up over almost 35 a share now. This thing's going, y'all. Let me refresh my other screen, see if we get some results. Okay. Yep, looks super strong. I'm not sure if this is coming back, y'all. We'll see right now. Here's the second 1 minute candle print coming up. Okay. Just looking at articles over here to see if I can get an update on their earnings. Okay, the trend spider on Twitter saying God candle. All right, so super bullish reaction. Like I say, this doesn't look like it's coming back. I mean, as soon as it starts to pull back a little bit, I'll pop on the Fibonacci and see where the 25% is. But this this looks pretty strong, folks. Okay, 4:10 p.m. is charge point. I am interested in seeing charge point. We got almost 450 people tuning in. Welcome, everybody. Named Swinging Bull with PB Alerts. Almost 450 people, mixture between YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. I believe we're streaming there as well. But monster reaction on Lulu. That's what I was saying right before this happened, that the last earnings, they sold off pretty good. I'm thinking obviously they guided down because they beat EPS very, very easily here. They probably guided down, which usually makes expectations a lot easier to beat on the next go around. And here we are on the next go around, and up over 10% in after hours right now. Okay, let's see here. Okay, I'm just going to investor relations on Lulu so I can get the results. There's a lot of people trying to check their investor relations section right now, so their website's having a hard time loading. Okay. All right, so we are getting a pullback here. I'm going to go ahead and drop a fib on here. Just kind of want to gauge where the 25% and these other levels are. So it's already breached 25% from the high, which was around 338. Kind of hanging out around 38% right now. Still waiting on investor relations Lulu site to load. Okay, got some results here on Lulu. All right, good. Let me post this for everybody. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm going to post it on YouTube. All right, over 500 people tuning in. Good to see everybody. Okay, Lulu earnings data. EPS came in 254, beat the estimate of 239. So very nice here. I didn't really have any concerns about the EPS because 10 times back-to-back earnings, they've always beat it. Sales came in 2.21 billion, forecast 2.2 billion. So they did beat Sales revenue. Sees Q2 EPS 292 to 297. Okay, so it looks like they did guide lower for the remainder of Q2, but that's okay. Sees revenue 240 to 242, so they did guide lower. Maybe that's why we're seeing this little pullback here. But overall, double beat EPS, beat revenue. That's pretty good. So, and it doesn't look like they guided lower by much, so that's why I think it's holding up here. We go here. Okay, so it looks like we do got some results are going to be coming out for ChargePoint. We're already getting some volatility here. Let me zoom in on the 1 minute. Almost looked frozen there for a second, but it's caught up to it now. LULU trying to bounce at 38% fib, which is right around 333. Still very much green, up $25 a share in after hours. And the fireworks for ChargePoint should be starting. Obviously, much smaller priced stock. Okay. All right, let me get my other screen going for ChargePoint. As soon as I get those results, I'll post that for everyone. LULU bounced. LULU bounced at 38% fib. It's the 333 level. Starting to claw back up here. Maybe we'll get a retest of the a clean break of 338. Be looking for a retest of the high of after hours. Okay, I got some data on ChargePoint. It's not really looking good, folks. Got a pretty good source here. We'll see. I got to look at the rest of this data, but total revenue actually decreased by 18% year over year. So not much growth there. However, subscription revenue increased. So a portion of their total revenue did increase. Subscription revenue increased by 27% year over year, but overall total revenue did decrease by 18%. Now, okay, so that's why I wanted to read the rest, because even though total revenue decreased by 18% year over year, their operating expenses reduced significantly, which is a step in the right direction. Gross margin decreased slightly to 22% from 23%, but operating expenses reduced significantly. That's actually really good news for them. Let me just check some of their fundamentals here, financials, if you will. Coming into the earnings, PE ratio was pretty negative, EPS negative, no dividend pay. Let me see. Yeah, just negative net income quarter after quarter for the past 5 quarters. They're just having trouble making money. So definitely not a profitable company. No offense to the ChargePoint bulls, but this is not something I would have like in my long-term Vanguard account. I'll maybe day trade it. I'll day trade it, scalp it for some quick money. But just looking at net income, that's a red flag for me as far as whether I would hold this long term. From what I know, that ChargePoint does have like a big following. Let's check out the debt to asset 70%. Not bad. As long as it's below 100%, I'm usually good. Anything over 100% debt to asset, it's not good. That means the company's over leveraged. But just looking at net income, a little shaky there, really shaky actually. But other than that, but see that this is going to help get their net income, them reducing their operating expenses significantly. That should help their net income. Maybe they can start getting back closer to baseline, to zero. So there is a plus there. And they didn't really go into detail how much their operating expenses reduced. They just said it reduced significantly, which, pretty strong word there, right? Let me just kind of refresh this here. Just looking at a press release on my other screen. Let me go back. Getting some volatility on ChargePoint. Getting some flickers to the downside. Let me refresh my screen, see if I got some more data. Yeah, that's just gonna be a blow for them. Sorry, my office phone is ringing. Let me mute this real quick. That's just gonna be a blow for them. With it's kind of like a give and take. What's going on with ChargePoint with this earnings data is like which I think is the worst part of the 1-2 punch combo that's going on right now. Their revenue, especially first quarter revenue, came in at 107 million. Same time last year, it was 130 million. So it's like shit, 23 million less. So that's going to be, 18% drawdown for them for their revenue. And I think they're trying to sugarcoat it by saying, hey, our revenue is down 18% overall, but our subscription revenue is up 27%. Well, you need to show me how much. Okay, your subscription revenue is up 27%. That's great, but what's the weight of that for your total revenue? So I'm going to have to dig deeper into their statements, and I'll do that later. But these are just some of the questions I'm asking, and that to myself. And you got to be careful because these companies try and sugarcoat things to make it seem like it's all hunky dory, but when you actually break it all down, it's like either one, they're not giving us all the data we need to make an informed decision. And you just got to be careful of them kind of like chirping things up like, okay, subscription revenue up 27%, but total revenue still down 18%. Yes, you improved your operating costs significantly, but then they're not really giving out a number. We'll have to compare, but I don't know, little kind of sketchy, but they closed at 173 today. They had this red candle right at the end. So they closed around 173. They're sitting at 170. Not really a huge negative reaction either. Look at LULU. LULU coming back up to retest the high, 347.83, high of after hours. We were looking at this weekly and monthly chart earlier. There's a lot of room for this to move up. Lots of room for it to move up. This was in the end of last year. This was trading in $500. So there's tons of room to move up if investors are really, really liking what they're seeing here. I mean, going to the 15-minute chart, I mean, there's nothing bearish about this. Of course, when you zoom in to the 1 minute, this little pullback here, it's because we're zoomed in so much. It seemed like a lot, but at the end of the day, it was nothing. So here we are, 15-minute chart on LULU, working on the second 15-minute print. The first one printed, as they would say on Twitter, it was a God candle, right? Let me get the results for ChargePoint posted to YouTube in case anyone was wondering. Hold on one second. And I can also post a link to the actual web call. Okay, and that's at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. And I'll kind of just show you over here. Let me just pull this over. If you want to see the web call with the CEO on LULU, it's very easy to get to where I'm at right here. If you're looking at my screen, you just Google LULU Investor Relations. This could be like one of the first links that pop up. But you can see this link here. I'll go ahead and copy and paste this on YouTube, and just take a screenshot of this link. And let me go ahead and post it to YouTube first. There we go. So there's the link. Should be at the bottom of the screen here. Go there, and you see right here, you see it says webcast right in the middle. As soon as you click on this little speaker icon, they're going to have you fill out a little form. They're just gathering info. But as soon as you submit, you'll be allowed into the web call with the CEO, and that starts in about 10 minutes. Okay. I'm not going to personally stream the web call. My focus for the stream is I just wanted to see what the reaction was going to be, because we got people that were playing these stocks in our Discord, and had a lot of LULU bulls. And it's kind of what my thesis was earlier, is they had such a negative reaction on the past earnings, coming off of two back-to-back great reactions to earnings, talking about the three past earnings announcements. And, obviously they guided lower, and they had a negative reaction, which in my opinion would make that they don't really have to do um, fantastically excellent to please investors on the next go around. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now. So Lulu did in fact make a new high in after hours, almost tapped 350, but 349 and 45 cents. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this Fibonacci because it's kind of no good anymore. I only like to put the fibs on once I see it pulling back a little bit, and then we could look at some mathematical levels to the downside where we can look for some support. But right now, it's, making a new high in after hours. So just kind of, if you're going to be following this for the remainder of after hours, you start seeing it pull back a little bit, throw a fib on there, keep your eye on the 25% retrace, usually a good spot for a bounce. So that's that. So I think it's safe to say congratulations to the Lulu Bulls. We're up almost $40 a share in after hours, almost 13% on this earnings move. So grats to the Bulls. It's looking pretty good for y'all. Again, if you start seeing it pull back, slap a fib on there. You got some levels you can look at from a bird's eye view to see if it's recovering because it sold off a little bit, and just some good levels there. Let's see what else we got here. Let me refresh this just one last time on my other screen. Not much action from ChargePoint. I'm a little surprised. I thought there'd be a bigger move on ChargePoint. Let me see what their oh yeah, this was SPY today. Y'all see SPY rallying to close, almost hit 535. That was exciting to see. A lot of the cash secured puts I sold in the past couple of weeks were printing today for me. So that's always a beautiful thing. Big League on YouTube. I hope this holds. Make some tendies tomorrow. I love it. Big League Management Group. I love the name. All right. So anyways, I posted the link if you guys want to tune into Lululemon earnings web call with the CEO. Starts in about 8 minutes. I'm personally going to sign off, but at least y'all got the link if you want to listen to the CEO. Just go there. But yeah, I mean, if this Lulu holds, imagine the people that were holding calls on Lulu that were either at the money or in the money. I like buying my options in the money. You just get better benefit from the Greeks. You get better theta is not as bad, and of course the delta is a lot better in the money. So whoever was holding in the money Lulu calls before this announcement, they are gonna get paid. They're gonna wake up a nice present, nice early Christmas present. It's only half the year's over, So anyways, yeah, not much going on with ChargePoint. I thought I'd see a bigger reaction. Oh yeah, I wanted to see what the expected move was on ChargePoint for Friday's expiration. Let me just see what it was when the regular session closed today. So June 7 expiration. Expected move plus or minus 42 cents. Something to keep in mind. That is the expected move, which is the cost of the money straddle. Yeah, I just wanted to post Big League's comment here because make some tendies tomorrow. That's what we want, right? But anyways, expected move on ChargePoint for Friday's expiration plus or minus 42 cents around there, and it doesn't look like we've obviously gotten any sort of move from ChargePoint yet. So just be on the lookout for the remainder of the week that there is a 40-cent expected move for Friday. So do we get the move, later tonight and for the remainder of after hours? Do we get the move tomorrow morning? Do we get the move during the regular session tomorrow? Obviously, investors are still digesting the earnings data, hence why we're not seeing anything, just kind of watching paint dry here. So nothing exciting going on now, but definitely keep the expected move in mind. And maybe you have an opportunity to make some money there. Expected move on Lulu, and again, these expected moves aren't 100%, but I do like to know what what their Wall Street's predicting. It's definitely good to know. All right, so Lulu, just want to check theirs out real quick. Yeah, plus or minus $33. So they've already they're basically already hit their expected move. And again, that's for Friday's expiration. So plus or minus 33 bucks. So Lulu's already done their expected move. ChargePoint, nothing really happening yet for that. So we're just gonna have to wait. So the ChargePoint bulls or the ChargePoint bears, kind of just sitting there wondering what's up. You just got to give a little bit of time for this earnings data to actually be digested by investors, and then I'm sure we'll eventually see a move up or down. Me personally, when I trade in the Discord, I like being long shares, and then I'll sell calls above my cost basis as a downside hedge. I like doing that a lot, and a lot of times, you get a nice move on the underlying shares. Yes, your calls you sold for the downside hedge will be red, but you should easily be able to buy those back. You buy them back at a loss, but you'll have enough profit on your shares to easily buy those back and still have a solid trade at the end of the day. So that's the kind of things I like doing, kind of play both sides in a way. But anyways, 4:25 p.m. Eastern. I'll probably almost 700 people tuning in. What's up, y'all? Good to see everyone. And a good chunk of them are probably from our Discord, so good seeing everyone. If you're new, good welcome. I do this every week, usually on a Wednesday or a Thursday. It just depends who's reporting. I try and go after the bigger companies to see what those reactions are. And usually I do have a trade set up already. A lot of times for these earnings plays, I'll do an inverse iron condor, something, a strategy where we'll implement if we're expecting a big move, right? So not a regular iron condor, because we do those when we're neutral, but inverse iron condor. That's where we just don't want the price staying in the little range, and if it can go up, it can go down. We make more money on both sides. So that's usually what I do. But anyways, yeah, let me go ahead and cut the stream. Appreciate everyone coming out to hang out, and I hope everyone enjoyed. And again, for Lulu, it's definitely congrats to the bulls. It doesn't look like we might see some a healthy pullback here, but there's no indications that this come back down. So congrats to the bulls. You should, especially the option holders, you should have a nice surprise in your account when you wake up tomorrow and the regular session bell rings. But other than that, I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their night, and I'll see everyone later. Cheers.